3, 2, 1, end of test. Keying with a go.
Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Warbird Wednesday. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum, and today we're going to go down Strategic Bomber Lane, but in the British area, following in their incredible tradition of the Lancasters and the Halifax and all the other stuff. We're going to be talking about the Handley Page Victor. That was one of the last of the V bombers, the V series bombers, to enter service, and it was also the last out. But first, if you walked in with a little kid, you would probably terrify them with this. You are growing Santa out of your head.
Push, tug, pull, shove. Santa's stuck up in the chimney.
This is our Christmas edition of Warbird Wednesday. I want to say from all of our docents and staff, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. God bless you all, and may you have a wonderful Christmas. And with that, I'm going to lose Santa's little toes growing out of my head. Of course, we'll give that to one of our school groups. The lucky winner of a question, answer a question right, they're going to get a, I don't even know where you would wear that. The Santa's half his torso. But we're talking about the Handley Page Victor. Of course, I'm going to grab a Spitfire, which is another venerable, actually wonderful British aircraft. And Greg at home can throw up the Handley Page Victor on the plan view. Now, the Handley Page Victor, as I said, was one of the last in and the last out. We're going to talk about why. Its first flight was in 1952. It was introduced in 1958. Its last flight, and there's an asterisk there, was in 2009, and there were 86 of them produced. This aircraft, both its design and its high tail, which was really done that way to keep it out of the jet wash of this airplane, was just an amazing airplane. It has a really interesting profile. The other V bombers were the Valiant and the Vulcan. It was built for a nuclear mission. It had the largest bomb bay of the three, unless I'm wrong, and you can correct me in the comments, but I believe it had the largest bomb bay, which actually served it well in another life. After it finished up its nuclear service, it ended up in reconnaissance and in the refueling mission, and we'll kind of talk about why that happened. The British had an incredible aerospace industry, and they did a number of things. But one of the challenges they had, especially with jet aircraft, was fatigue. And they were really pushing the envelope on design with these airplanes. And what ended up happening was throughout British jet life, and I won't get too far into it, but a number of jets that ultimately ended with stress cracking from the dynamics and the use. This aircraft was no different. You know, they would use it for low-level interdiction in its nuclear role, which ended when the British took on the Polaris submarine launched missile, and they no longer felt they needed that part of the nuclear triad, you know, the land, sea, and air, which is how the United States is built around its nuclear arsenal. But they found stress cracks in the aircraft, and it was actually retired from its nuclear mission in 1968, and that's when it kind of took on these other roles. And that is where I am going to do my pause and my salute. And again, I really want to talk about air crews. The air crews that flew this airplane, especially on low-level interdiction. This is not a small aircraft, and continued to keep it operating well into the early 90s when it really retired. Like I said, there's an asterisk around that 2009 flight, but when it retired from its service in 1993, that was a dangerous mission, especially with a large aircraft like that. And it wasn't, the United States came along, we had the B-52, which is more of a high-level strategic bomber and has evolved into pretty much a cruise missile standoff, cruise missile launching platform. But a low-level interdiction like with the B-1 or the B-58 Hustler, the British had that, and that's one reason why with this Victor they ended up with those stress cracks. So today I'm going to salute these Handley Page Victor air crews. If you're out there, give us a comment if you actually flew in or maintained or piloted one of these airplanes. We'd love to hear from you, and we're going to do that with the IBC since 1919, a diet root beer. That is almost a contradiction in terms. A diet root beer, naturally and artificially flavored. It has 0 calories. Jason, you're thinking of me this time. That's good, as I continue to reduce my drag coefficient. And with that, we'll go ahead and pry this thing off. And all you Handley Page Victor crews, I salute. It's Christmas. If I could just wish for a bucket of ice. A bucket of ice, Santa, that came in and chilled this thing. No, he's shaking his head. He's not doing it. Do you know what warm artificial sweetener tastes like? Yeah. It'd probably be nice if that were the case, if it were cold. Hint, hint, Christmas hint. But we'll do another taste for the salute for these crews.
Hey, Sonny, how about a little ice?
Yes, ma'am, I'll bring it on.
Oh, yeah. Hot artificial sweetener. Absolutely wonderful. So, the aircraft, after they found stress cracks, it was retired. They redid some of them for a reconnaissance role, and the British were having a really difficult time with aerial tankers. They didn't have enough, and part of the challenge with the British military, in my view, and again, you can argue with me, is through budget cuts, they've just had to do more and more with less and less. And this was a great opportunity to repurpose these aircraft as tankers. The airframes were already bought and paid for and built, so they modified them. They actually fought, quote unquote, in the Gulf War, where they refueled the other British long-range bombers, the Vulcans, in the Black Buck raids during the Falklands War. So they kind of fought there, and then they were retired after that. It is sad to see an airplane like that go, but as the years have gone on with it, it does look kind of dated, like 1950s dated, if you want to call it that kind of old design. There are 4 of them that, after they were retired, are still preserved in museums. Thank you very much. The British, they have a great history of doing that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The Victor Teasing Tina XM715, that's in a museum where they do fast taxis on the aircraft, except in 2009, they made a boo-boo, and that was they fast taxied the aircraft, got it too hot, and I've seen the video of this. I don't know if Greg can find it in post, but they got it going too hot, and the airplane actually took off and made an unscheduled flight. Can you imagine the 10 sets of kittens would have if somebody did that in the United States with some retired B-47 or a B-58? Man, that would be terrible. It would be fun to watch, but if you inadvertently made that flight, you'd be having a lot of problems. But they managed to get the airplane back and get it on the ground. I'm not sure what the ramifications were of that, but that's why the airplane actually had its last flight an authorized flight in 2009. And with that, the airframe flew into history. Now, there goes another airframe flying into history. Here we are at an airport it is Christmas time, and if you get this, you may or may not be able to order it in time. Click on that link, but this is a fantastic puzzle of a beautiful Spitfire painting. Again, the British designs are absolutely gorgeous. So click on this link. Jason will draw one of these, cut it up, and send it to you. Nobody will send it to you, and you can get your hands on this beautiful puzzle, and hopefully, I don't know whether you'll get it in time for Christmas. But if not, if you didn't get what you wanted, get yourself one of these. Now, we can't do all this. In fact, we're standing in front of a Spitfire without your donations. So click on that link in the descriptions. Donate a few pounds, a few bucks, or whatever, depending on the exchange rate. We'd love to have that. And that helps us maintain everything in the museum. I am in the European hangar. There's all kinds of amazing aircraft in this hangar. We also offer free education guides, although the kids are out of school right now, in the links below. But if you want to teach one lesson or an entire pond, our education guides are free, and they are also listed in the description. If you came across us on Facebook, Instagram, or another social media platform, give us a like and a comment. We really like that. It helps the channel grow, and we are grateful for your participation. Thank you so much. Thank you for a fantastic year as we close this out. As I said, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year from everybody at the Palm Springs Air Museum. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad, I've been bad, got coal that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember.